Me amo ia for you and I. Hene hene koaka, koale ale apaha. Me amo ia for you and I. Hawila makene i, oni oni kokino. Me amo ia for you and I. I Waikiki mako, ayana I keke. Me amo ia for you and I. I Kapahulu mako, ayana lipoa. Me amo ia for you and I. Ikaka akamako, ayana ikapipisto. Heme amo ia for you and I. Our eyes have met, our lips not yet. Palamaponokokino, I'm gonna get you yet. Haina mai kapuana, oh ole apaha. E me amo ia for you and I. Haina mai kapuana, oh ole apaha. E me amo ia.
All right, aloha kakiako, Richiko inoa pehe oi. That's Hawaiian for good morning. My name is Richie. If you can hear me, just smile. All right, nice smiles you got there. Have any of you been on a helicopter before? All right, some have, some haven't. Everybody received a safety briefing in the lobby? Perfect. So the first couple minutes of the flight, I won't be talking to you. I'll be busy talking to the control tower. But once we get a couple minutes out of the airport, I'll turn the intercom back on, narrate the flight for you the whole time. You can see yourself on the monitor. You're live on video. Everything you do will be held against you for use in the future. So I'll be making the video of our flight. You'll be on it. Got 3 outside cameras to catch the action. Music and narration will all be on there too. If you have any questions during the flight, don't ask me because I can't hear anything you say. But you can write your questions down. We've got a notepad in the front here. There's one behind my seat and one behind the seat over there. Just grab it, write it down, pass it to me, and I'll be glad to answer your questions for you. We're ready to go. All you have to do is sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and I'll be back on the air with you when we get a couple minutes out of the airport.
For you and I. Ikapahulu mako.
Well, when we go by the control tower, everybody wave because they kind of get lonely up there.
Me amo ia for you and I. Flowers, you till for the fires. I come here to warn you about tonight's cane fire. When I woke up this morning, I saw the cane was pushed to the ground. The helicopter's soaring, the guard was still been around. Say the children, gotta move them before say mine. You grab yours, I'll say mine. I gotta pull them in time before the cane fire. I gotta warn you about the cane fire. Burn, burn, burning from the cane fire. Gotta save those children. prices, every day getting higher. Won't let our money burn in the cane fire. Got 3 hungry babies and a ranch to be paid. Right before the harvest, this is no time for a race. Save the children, gotta move them before it's time to grab yours. I'll save the children, I gotta pull them in time before the cane fire.
Okay, we're back on the air with you. We're starting to get a little ways away from the airport traffic area now. We've been flying over the sugarcane plantation since takeoff. Everything you're looking at down there, whether it's green or brown, from the left to the right, covering this whole valley, this is all HC&S Sugar Company, the largest landowner on Maui, 42,000 acres of land they own down there beneath us. Every square foot of the plantation has to be irrigated. The valley is a desert. It's less than 25 inches of rain in a whole year. Irrigation water comes from the rainforest on the other side of that big mountain we're heading to. Travels here by canal. We've crossed 3 already. We're just coming up over one now. You can see the narrow ditch ahead to the left. Goes right underneath us, comes out behind to the right there. The Hawaiian word for canal is awai. Now, the awai fill the punawai, the small reservoirs that you see scattered throughout the plantation where all that irrigation water is stored. So the canals were dug by hand over 100 years ago. The longest one's over 38 miles. Previous to the construction of the extensive irrigation system, the whole valley was a desert. So there was nothing growing down here before that time. Anybody having fun yet? Okay, good. There's a little town just ahead, slightly left, called Pukalani with the golf course in it there. Pukalani in Hawaiian means hole in the heavens. The town got that name because when it rains upon this part of the island, there's usually a big puka, or a hole in the clouds over that town. The sun will shine through the puka down to Pukalani while it pours rain over Makawao and the surrounding area, and that happens quite often. And that's how it got the name, Pukalani, or hole in the heavens. There's quite a few small farms right down off our nose here. This area we're coming up over is called Lower Kula. Farmers down there in the Lower Kula area, they're raising cabbage, lettuce, tomatoes, marijuana. Oops. No, there's no marijuana down there. That'd be too easy for us to see it. All the marijuana's out that way in the rainforest where they can hide it better. They do raise something very famous down here though in Lower Kula. That's where they raise our world famous Kula onion. Guaranteed to be the sweetest onion in the whole world. The Kula onion is so sweet, the only time you might get a tear in your eye eating a Kula onion might be when you look at the price you paid for it. They're pretty expensive. That might bring you to tears, but we think they're worth it. We buy them. Have you been up to the top of Haleakala yet? No, you folks have? Okay. So we're heading that way first, 10,023 feet to the summit. Only one road will take you up there. We're kind of paralleling the Haleakala Highway. It's not the first highway you see. It's further up in the green pasture lands there of Haleakala Ranch. But it is the fastest climbing highway in the whole world. Takes you from sea level to 10,000 feet in just 38 miles. Now, since there's only one road that goes up, that means that's the same road that the downhill bicycle tours course down. No pedaling required on the downhill bike ride, practically. Just want to have really good brakes. So I have a beautiful green pasture land to the left, Haleakala Ranch, largest cattle ranch on Maui. Most of the time you're driving up to the crater, you're driving through Haleakala Ranch land. Largest privately owned ranch in the world is located in Hawaii. It's over on the Big Island, the Parker Ranch. So we're already climbing through 5,700 feet. I hate heights. Coastline off to the right, that would be Kihei. And about 3/4 of the way down would be Wailea. Then where the big cinder cone hill is on the ocean, that would be Makena. Miles of beautiful white sand beaches down there. That's one thing Maui has more of than any island. We have 38 miles of swimmable sand beach on the island of Maui. Boy, Kihei got flooded the other night. I have a friend who lives down there and they had 6 inches of water throughout their entire house. So the name of the mountain, Haleakala, it means house of the sun. And it's the largest dormant volcano in the whole world. The key word is dormant. So it is not extinct. It's possible that Haleakala could erupt again. Last time it erupted was 1790, well over 200 years ago. So the only active volcano in Hawaii is on the Big Island, Kilauea volcano. Kilauea has been erupting for a long time. The lava's been flowing into the ocean over there, making the Big Island even bigger. Sometimes we get snow on the summit of Haleakala in the wintertime. Whenever it snows up here, it melts off pretty quick. Usually by the next day, by late afternoon, it would be melted away. That's because it never stays below freezing during the daytime on Haleakala. It's just not high enough altitude for that. But that's not true for the Big Island of Hawaii. When the snow falls there, it'll stay there through the whole winter. But the mountains are much taller. Mauna Kea is over 14,000 feet tall, so it stays much colder due to the altitude. Some people even ski on the Big Island. I saw on the news, I don't know, maybe it was last week, people snowboarding up at the top. Well, the last time that Haleakala erupted, the eruption didn't come from inside the crater. It actually came out of this ridgeline that we're approaching. This is called the Southwest Ridge Zone. The lava fountain out of this ridge flowed down the backside of the mountain all the way to the ocean and created La Perouse Bay right on there. Big Island of Hawaii coming into view there now. Just see the top of Mauna Kea, just ahead slightly left, and to the right of it there, Mauna Loa. That's 100 miles across the sky to the tops of those peaks. When you come up to the Southwest Ridge Zone, you'll see the cinder cones that were formed during the eruption as the lava fountained out of this ridge and built up these huge cones out of cinders. See the big facility on the mountain top left there? That big facility is called Science City. No one's allowed in any of the buildings up there except the employees. Top secret government projects going on up there. You know, they fire laser beams from the top of Haleakala and bounce them off satellites in outer space. When they do that, they close the airspace around the mountain. We always have to make sure that we're flying on schedule so we don't conflict with that. But we should be fine. They weren't scheduled to shoot until 8 a.m., but I don't have a watch today. You're not going to fall for that one today, huh? Okay, they shoot them at night when nobody's here. Well, you're perfectly safe, but we do have to keep a 1 mile radius from it. We'll just keep going the way we're going until we get a mile beyond it, and then we'll go right up to the rim of the crater to get a view. So right now we're on the southern slope of Haleakala, and we're paralleling the south rim to the left there. So the distance around the rim of the crater is 21 miles. The floor of the crater is about 6,000 feet above sea level. The crater is so big, they say that the island of Manhattan could fit inside Haleakala crater. In the National Park, they have 3 cabins located in the crater. They own them and they rent them to hikers. So you could hike down in there and you could spend a night at one or all 3 of the cabins. However, the only way you can go on the crater floor is on foot or horseback. No vehicles allowed in there. Only vehicle that ever drove on the crater floor was the Lunar Rover when the astronauts trained for the moon missions right here in Haleakala crater. So we're almost got our distance from Science City. You can actually see into the crater straight ahead of us. There's a little dip in the rim. We call that the notch. So looking across the crater floor to the rim on the north side. So we'll go right up to the rim and parallel it. Then we'll turn and go the other way so you can get pictures out both sides of the helicopter equally well. I've been hiking in the crater since I was in high school. I've spent nights at every cabin in there dozens of times. We were camping in there once, just on the crater floor when it snowed on the summit. Came down as sleet on the crater floor, but sure was cold. So everything over the rim to the left and ahead is the interior of Haleakala crater. Perfect view this morning, not a single cloud over or in the crater. You can see through the crater to the north shore and the ocean on the other side of the island there too, to the left. I'll make a left turn here and reverse course. See the huge cinder cones on the crater floor? All of those, of course, were formed during eruptions as lava fountained out of the floor of the crater and built those huge cones up out of cinders. Are we ready to head to waterfall country? Okay, everybody got their pictures? We will make a left turn here and begin a gentle descent. cover your ears, hold your nose and blow or yawn or swallow, okay? If you have any problem equalizing the pressure, let me know, and I'll just slow our descent, but we'll take it reasonably slow here. The mountain beneath and behind us only gets about 25 inches of rain a year. However, sometime in history there was more rainfall than that because the huge gulches and ravines down there, these were caused by water erosion, not from lava flowing. So 25 inches of rain a year beneath and behind us, and up ahead it turns green like somebody drew a line up there and it gets 200 inches of rain a year. That phenomena is known as a rain shadow, and it's caused by two things. Our prevailing winds that come from the northeast almost all year long, we call them the trade winds, although the last few days it was coming from the south. That's how we got all that rain. So the trade winds combined with the height of the mountains. So as the trade winds push the air up the mountain, it gets cooler due to the altitude. Well, the cooler the air is, the less moisture it can hold, so the clouds then condense and rain out before they ever make it all the way back here to the south side. And that is why it's wet on the north and dry on the south of every Hawaiian island. And that's your Weather 101 course for today. So, everybody's ears doing okay? All right. Well, the area straight ahead and going all the way down the coast to the right is called Kaupo. Huge cattle ranch located down here, Kaupo Ranch. Not very many homes down there in Kaupo. Very remote area. It's about an hour drive beyond Hana to get here. So remote that most of the houses down there don't even have electricity. Going up to a gigantic gulch called Mana Wainui. And Mana Wainui in Hawaiian means powerful water. Given that name because they knew it took powerful water to carve this out of the mountainside by water erosion. Now the only time we have waterfalls in here is when it's raining on the plateau above or just after a big rain. So we obviously haven't been here yet this morning, so we'll check it out and see if there are any. Listen to the whispering wind. Yeah, we got some beautiful waterfalls here. Now, if it doesn't start raining pretty soon, before noon, these will all be dried up. It's 2,000 feet from the top to the bottom of the valley here. Pretty spectacular morning here in Mana Wainui. As we continue further to the northeast, rainfall increases even more. Kind of looks like ground cover down there, but that's actually the tops of the trees, the canopy of the rainforest. It'd be a little bit dark hiking under there, even in the daylight. Have any of you folks driven the road to Hana? Folks, have you have? Yeah, some people call it divorce road if you have a bad backseat driver. There's 617 curbs in it and 54 one-lane bridges. So it takes you 2 to 3 hours, depending on how many stops you make, to travel the 50 miles to get there. This huge valley is called Kipahulu. Usually the clouds are down low up to the left. You can see all the way up to the top of the valley and the top of the mountain this morning. And there's homes down near the coast to the right here in Lower Kipahulu. Lower Kipahulu, this is where famous aviator Charles Lindbergh spent his last years. And Lindbergh's grave is right on the cliffs down there in a little cemetery. Again, usually the clouds hide the mountain to the left of us. But because there's no clouds here, we'll probably see a bunch of little waterfalls and streams as we head around towards Hana that are usually covered in the clouds. So Hana in Hawaiian means work. The town got that name because long ago there used to be a huge sugarcane plantation on this end of the island. The plantation built a work camp for the employees to live in and called it Hana, or work. Well, that plantation closed long ago, but the town remained and they kept the name. Well, Hana town is right off our nose. It's situated right on the ocean around that little bay and at the base of that cinder cone hill that's covered with trees. Hana is really different from any other community in Hawaii. Even the people are different. They just don't like to leave their little secluded town. Of course, what makes it secluded is the highway, because it takes so long to drive there. My wife is half Hawaiian. She has relatives born and raised in Hana. And the only way that we will see them is when we take the initiative to drive to Hana to visit them, because they just don't like to leave their little town. So that's the whole place right off our nose. Some celebrities like to vacation there because they can walk into town, walk into one of the little stores, and at least the people that live there won't ask them for their autograph. They don't get excited about stuff like that. We've come completely around the east end of the island, and we're on the north shore, turning westbound now. By the way, you could get to Hana if you didn't want to drive. You could fly down on the airstrip right on the coast down there. About a 15-minute flight from the airport on the commuter airlines to get down there in Hana. Looks like a plane landed there now. Most of the island of Maui is actually wilderness. However, it's hard to see that when you drive around in a car because, the road takes you around the coast pretty much. You really have to get up in the air to see how much wilderness that we have. From where the houses are down on the right, all the way up to the summit of Haleakala to the left, 10,000 feet. As far as you can see on the horizon ahead of us, all of this is State Forest Reserve. Natural watershed area probably will always remain wilderness just like we're looking at it now. And there's hundreds of ferocious wild pigs down there. I know that because my father-in-law was the best-known wild boar hunter on this island. He hunted pigs his whole life. His father hunted before him. I hunted with him for about 25 years. The biggest wild pig we ever caught weighed over 350 pounds and had 3 1/2 inch tusks on it. That's one of the tusks from the wild boar. 350 pounds, that's pretty big though, but that was a long time ago. Nowadays I hear hunters catching them 100, 200, maybe 250 pounds. Well, you can hunt pigs all year round, every day. There's no limit on the pig hunting. He did that because he'd been trying to eradicate the pigs since I was 12 years old. Pigs are winning that contest, though. No luck with that. Not very often there's just clear clouds all the way to the top of Haleakala on the North Shore like this. So we're going to fly over the Hana Highway, get a good view of some of those curves, and then we're going to go up to the West Wailua streams, where there are hundreds of pools, streams, and waterfalls that we'll take a look at. So we've got wild pigs in the rainforest on the wet side of the island. On the dry south side, thousands of wild goats, even some deer hunting on Maui. And you're probably as happy as I am. There's no snakes in the state of Hawaii. Unless you count lawyers, otherwise there's no snakes. Got a nice rainbow down there on the coast. Oh, coming up to the highway now, you can see just ahead, straight ahead of us. You can see it down on the right there now. And on the left again. So the key to happiness on driving the Hana Highway is don't be in a hurry, because you'll just get frustrated. You got to go with the flow. We'll cross over the Hana Highway. We're going right up to the tall trees here, West Wailua streams. I'm just going to let the music and the scenery be your narration for the next few minutes while you enjoy the view. And we'll start out with the left side first. On to the right now. Anything that beautiful, huh? At the beginning of the flight, I mentioned that the water that irrigates the sugar plantation comes from the rainforest. This is actually right where it comes from. When we cross the ridge just ahead into the Kenai Valley there, we'll see a couple of waterfalls in the left corner of the little side canyon. Rainbow there. So in the left corner of the side canyon here, the two waterfalls in the corner. They join together to become one waterfall. At the bottom of the first single waterfall, there is a man-made tunnel. It was carved out of the mountain more than 100 years ago. Irrigation workers came up here and tunneled through the solid rock so they could have this water gravity flow from here 38 miles back to the sugar plantation. Right here at the bottom of Kano Falls is the beginning of the 38-mile journey of the Hamakua Canal, where the water goes underground there. It'll come out above ground on the other side of the valley in an open canal, and we'll get a look at that. The canal is straight ahead. It's actually, it probably looks more like a ditch to you than narrow. Canal down on our left side, it'll be there now. Now that can't go over the ridge because this whole thing is gravity flow, so they tunnel through the mountain. They tunnel through the ridges across the gulches on wooden aqueducts. However, every major stream that it passes, it picks up more water. So at the top of the next valley here, Honolulu, there's 3 waterfalls. There's so much water in the mountain today, all the waterfalls are overflowing and go into the bottom. Normally they all disappear into the tunnel, but it can't take all the water in. You see a jeep trail etched in the mountain there. One of the many access roads the irrigation company has to come up here and maintain the tunnels and the canals. Same roads that we would drive on when we come up here and go pig hunting. So quite an amazing engineering feat that the gravity flows from Kano Falls 38 miles to the plantation, still in use today as the primary water source for the sugar company, the Hamakua Canal. Flying over the State Forest Reserve too. Now let's say you were hiking somewhere in Hawaii and you thought that you got lost. Don't panic. Pretty hard to get lost hiking in Hawaii. You don't even use a compass here. You only have to remember one simple rule. Just keep moving downhill. Eventually you'll fall off the island somewhere. Pretty hard to get stuck walking in circles when you're on a steep slope. Hiking out of the mountain, you do not want to follow a stream. The trouble with that is, you're eventually going to encounter a waterfall that'll be too tall to climb down. And the ones you did climb down, you probably can't climb back up. And then you're stuck in the bottom of a huge gulch or ravine, and you can't go anywhere. But you follow the ridge lines. Ridges almost always go to the coast, where you'll encounter a road or even a trail. Because that's where the trails are located, there on the tops of the ridges, not down at the bottom of the stream beds, of course. Maui is the second largest island. It covers 728 square miles. It's 48 miles long. The narrowest part of Maui, the Central Valley, is only 7 miles across the valley. It's bigger than the island of Oahu, though, and Oahu has 10 times their population. They have over 1 million people over there, versus about 145,000 living on Maui today. And that is one of many reasons that we say Maui no Ko'oi, which means Maui's the best of all. And it is, for sure. A few weeks ago, Maui was voted the best island in the world again, but that's 23 years in a row it's been voted that. We're coming up over here with all the red roof buildings. This is Makawao. Makawao is where my wife was raised. It's kind of like a little western town of the island. It's where the rodeo arena is located, where a lot of the Paniolas, the cowboys, live that work for the ranches.
mai au sau I pali ko I po I ke akapuani ani e ani vale o hali aloko o elo ma ole I kapu vai
Smile for the camera, everybody. Aloha. Hope everybody had a great time. Hope you have a great time this time you get to visit our beautiful island. I guess I'm just stuck here the rest of my life. Another tough day at the office. Somebody's got to do it. So every island has a nickname. Our nickname is the Valley Isle. And we got that nickname because of this huge flat plain that joins Haleakala behind us to West Maui on the other side and forms the giant valley between the two mountain ranges. Our beautiful lush green valley, unfortunately, is going to be a big brown dust bowl. HCNS Sugar Company closed down. Yesterday was the last haul of sugar cane to the mill for processing. So this is the last sugar cane plantation and the last sugar mill operated in Hawaii. That's 676 people that be out of work now, unfortunately. Foreign sugar prices is what drove them out of business after being here for 100 years planting cane. I'll be talking to the control tower from now till touchdown. Then I'll talk to you again when we get on the ground. Oh yeah, when you get in the lobby, if you have some time to write some comments about your flight, appreciate that. If you enjoyed your tour, my name is Ruchi. If you didn't enjoy them, my name is Kirk.
I know.
Should we go through it?
And the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dream that you did to Hawaii.
Alright, mahalo nui loa, ahui ho, malama pono. You can take off your headset and safety belt while we wait to get unloaded.
Me and you and I think to myself.